Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us, and welcome to Game Night on the Region Sports Network. We come to you tonight from Calumet Tech High School as the Region Sports Network presents live coverage of Indiana high school football as the Whiting Oilers take on the Calumet New Tech Warriors. I'm Andrew Mile, now the play-by-play for all of tonight's action, and joining me with the color analysis of tonight's game is Nick Russ. Good evening, Nick.
Good evening. It's a wonderful night for some football here in the northern section of Lake County. The crowd's starting to file in. Looks like it's going to be a good game here we have on our hands.
Yeah, Calumet versus Whiting. Whiting coming in at 2-3. They're 1-1 in the Greater South Shore Conference. Calumet, they're 4-1. They're coming off a huge victory. They took down Theo Bowman 52-16. And in that game, Nick, we saw their running back Bryce Brandon run for 304 yards. That guy's a stud.
Yeah, it was an incredible performance last week. It was one-way traffic for this Calumet Warriors offense, mostly on the ground. It's going to be up to the challenge for the Whiting Oilers to try and contain that explosive firepower they have in the backfield.
What's also going to be interesting for Calumet is they are starting Jaden Campbell, a 6'3 freshman. It's his first ever start as Calumet's just trying to find some answers from the quarterback position after Brody Moeller went down with an injury.
Exactly. You don't want to be too one-dimensional, especially as you get more towards the postseason, because you'll eventually come across a team that will probably try and figure out your running game. So it's good to start having those extra weapons in your arsenal to be able to widen your playbook, because not only does a passing game open up your runs, but also you might discover it's a freshman player. We're not sure exactly how he's going to perform, but this is the perfect time against a conference foe to try and figure out some things as we head into the second half of this season.
The only stats we have for Campbell is -3 rushing yards. He's yet to even throw a pass just yet in a high school varsity game. On the other side, for the Whiting Oilers, they had a tough loss on Saturday against Lake Station. They lost 36-28 to snap their 2-game winning streak. Nick, it's also interesting for Whiting because this is their first road game since week 1 when they lost to North Newton.
It's crazy how that worked out. I'm wondering who's making the schedule there. So that probably tells me that their second half of their season is probably going to be mostly spent on the road as they're here at Calumet New Tech High School. And that can be a little bit different, like riding on the bus, especially as you get further away, because Whiting, as we all know, is the most northern west team in the state. So they always have to travel somewhere whenever they have to go. So there's no way around that.
Well, if you like running the ball, this is going to be your game. We already talked about Bryce Brandon for Calumet. Demetrio Lopez, on the other hand, has also had a fantastic season. He had 126 yards in their loss with 3 touchdowns. On the year, though, 90 carries, 754 yards. He's a 5'7 senior, and he's got some big men up front that can clear him a path.
And that is the big key for this Whiting Oiler offense, is dominating the trench up front with the offensive linemen, being able to open up those holes for Lopez, and it starts and ends at the beginning of the line for every team, both for Calumet as well, because of the style, they're successful their run's been. And it looks like we have our anthem.
Yes, so we will step aside. We'll come back here on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
At Strachan Van Til, we believe grocery shopping should be simple. Now, shopping is easier than ever with our new and improved website. Find what you need fast. Browse your favorite products, add them to your cart, and check out in just a few quick steps. Choose between convenient in-store pickup or let us handle the heavy lifting. From our shelves to your doorstep, skip the lines, shop your way, and spend more time on what matters most. With our rewards program, enjoy incredible savings and personalized offers every time you shop. Shop online now at strachanvantil.com or download our app today.
Hi, I'm Crowd Company's Lantern Man. If you're a contractor, it's my job to make your insurance coverage simple and affordable. Because I know time is money, I'll come to your business. Certificates and bonds are a snap. Wherever you are, whatever business you're in, we've got you covered. As Crowd Company's Lantern Man, I'm your insurance superhero.
Crowd Company's insurance professionals. Highland, Merrillville, and Michigan City.
Great tradition. A sporting event, the Star Spangled Banner being played before the game. Andrew Mile with Nick Russ. The Friday night forecast is brought to you by our friends at Economy Electric Heating and Cooling. Tonight's forecast is, Nick?
It's a fantastic, nice weather we have for us. Clear tonight with a low of around 58. No sign of rain in the forecast as the Warriors come running onto the field. Right through that paper. I miss doing that so much. Every time I see a nice big chunk of paper, don't you have the urge to just run right through it?
Sometimes I do.
Regardless of where you're at.
One of my favorite YouTube videos when people try to go through them and they're not supposed to be breakaway and they fall over. But for Calumet, homecoming. So it's a big game for them emotionally, taking on a Whiting team that's coming off a tough loss. But they're being led by Charles Sallery. And you know anything about Charles Sallery, he's LaPorte's all-time leading rusher. He's 12-13 as the head coach of Calumet. But they asked him, what's it going to take to beat this Whiting team? He says, well, in the first half, we need to play quicker. Somehow when you score 52 points, he said they played slow to start the game, which I didn't think that was possible when he scored over 50 in a high school game. But he says he wants to get them off to a good start. He wants them to play fast. He wants them to play physical, but also he wants them to control the line of scrimmage. And before we stepped away for the national anthem, we were talking about Demetrio Lopez, and with 8 sacks racked up last week by Lake Station against Whiting, they're going to really rely on their run game against Calumet.
Especially when you have a young quarterback. What we were talking about that. We noticed that in the pre-game warm-up, we saw 2 quarterbacks warming up for Whiting, so it looks like they might be doing some tandem quarterbacks with the options up here with Julian Madrano and Alexander Vasquez. So it'll be interesting to see who takes that first opening snap here for the Whiting Oilers. Maybe they'll be doing maybe having 2 quarterbacks in the backfield as part of a formation just to kind of change things up, change pace.
Well, and I wonder if that is the fact, because Madrano has thrown an interception in every single game they have played. This season, he has 6 touchdown passes and 5 interceptions. And as you talked about off air as we were getting ready for the game, you don't want to be a team that's too one-dimensional. Mm-hmm. And that's why Calumet is going to be going with Jaden Campbell. It might be the same reason for Whiting, is trying to figure out that pass game. Yeah,
when you have 2 quarterbacks that are young, underclassmen actually, you have freshmen and 2 sophomores potentially for Whiting, you're trying to establish that. Because not only that, but for the seasons to come as well, as it looks like Calumet will be receiving.
It looks like Whiting won the toss. They deferred to the second half, and Nick is right. They're going to be kicking the ball to Calumet. And credit to Calumet. The all-red uniforms, those are some nice jerseys to wear in your homecoming.
Yep, all-red uniforms with the black helmet on top. I'm pretty sure there's a logo there. I'll be able to take a better look here. My binoculars. Yeah. Whiting, of course, with the white shirt and the green pants, green numbers, green helmet, and we pointed this out. Interesting, their logo is square on the back of the helmet as opposed to the side that you typically see on some of these shells these days. An interesting look for the Oilers.
Nice little Oregon O on the back, too.
Yep.
As we get set up for our first Quintel kickoff. This kickoff and all kickoffs are presented by Quintel Incorporated. Quintel Incorporated handling jobs of all sizes throughout the country since 1994. We're ready for some football. Calumet on the field, set to receive. Whiting in a huddle, getting ready to boot the football and get this contest started on a gorgeous night. The kicker for Whiting is Nicholas Ornelas. A couple guys back to return for Calumet. Calumet coming in at 4-1, their best start since 2022 when they started 8-0. Whiting at 2-3, they're 1-1 in the Greater South Shore Conference. They're coming off a loss at home. And here we go. Ornelas has the ball teed up on the 40-yard line. Waiting for the referee to blow the whistle, start the game. There it is. And we have football here on the Region Sports Network. A high pooch kick that falls down. It rolls away, and the returner just falls over around the 35-yard line.
That's one way to prevent a speedy return.
That was Lamar Wesby for Calumet. Giving himself up.
The thing to be careful about that sort of thing is when that ball hits, after it goes 10 yards, it's live. So if Whiting's fast enough and it's just over there rolling, they can hop on that.
Calumet will start their first drive on the 34-yard line. Is number 8, Bryce Brandon, the feature back for Calumet. Watch out for him. He's had some explosive games this year. All 5 games Calumet has played, he has surpassed the century mark in rushing. It's a fake and a hand run up the middle, across the 50 and up to the 40-yard line. Yeah, that was Brandon that took it himself. Lined him up as a quarterback.
Yep, a perfect play fake. It was like Whiting was probably doing their scouting, was expecting a run, just not probably from the QB. He had a perfect lane up the middle and got a good chunk of about 12 yards.
Campbell comes into the game, give it right back to Brandon. Brandon gets maybe a yard there, and he'll make it 2nd and 9 from the 44-yard line. So good run to start the game, got him a first down, and then 1 yard there. And that was one of our keys to the game, Nick, is that Whiting's going to have to figure out a way to stop Brandon, and the big part of that is tackling. They had way too many missed tackles last week. That led to big explosive plays for the Fighting Eagles of Lake Station.
Yeah, for the Oilers to be successful, they're going to need 11 hats to the ball.
High snap for Campbell. Up the middle is Brandon, and Brandon dragged down pretty quickly. Going to get a head of steam, Gabriel Burris on the tackle. He had just 1 tackle last week, making it 3rd and about 7 now for Calumet.
Yeah, the high snap there sort of slowed down that play just enough for the linebackers to shift into position and corral the running back to the ground for a minimal gain. 3rd and long now for the Warriors.
David Swan, the center for the Warriors. And no secret here, they're going right up the gut again, and just across the 40 to the 39. A 3-yard gain, making it 4th and 4. Jaden Campbell, the freshman, making his first start instead of Christian Wesson, who started the last couple of games after the injury to Portage transfer Brody Mueller. And last week he went 1 for 3 with 4 yards, 2 interceptions. So Coach Sallery making the change, going to the freshman and seeing if he can get this pass game going.
And it's going to look maybe a throw here.
4th and 4. Campbell looking to his left. His throw towards the sideline. It's completed to Wesby, and Wesby goes out of bounds, and that will be a first down. Rolling the dice early.
Yeah, they were wondering if they were going to run or pass, and now we had our answer. They had a nice little corner route that just went just about 5 yards, which is more than enough than what they need. A little curl route to the out. He's able to get separation, perfect pass in the right spot for a first down. This drive continues for the Warriors.
The first down is brought to you by Four Seasons Mechanical in Maryville. Visit them on the web at fourseasonmechanical.com. They give it to Brandon. Brandon has a lane to his left. He breaks a tackle, and he gets slugged down at the 15-yard line. It's an 18-yard gain, and another first down for Calumet.
Another thing to point out that what Calumet's doing is that they're going with like a hanging, no-huddle type offense, so they're constantly moving, not allowing Whiting to really get set and like make any changes if they need to.
So they're Four Seasons Mechanical first down. Two receivers to the right of Campbell, and Brandon will get the ball. He's trying to find the lane as there's a bunch of Oilers that will drag him down.
Good hard run right up the middle. They split out the right. Even with the successful run game, Whiting still has to be cognizant of the ability to throw. So even though it's an unknown, you still need to treat the passing game with some respect here.
And you got to be pretty happy, too, if you're Calumet and you give your quarterback an easy completion to gain some confidence. Because you're making your first start midway through the season. There's some pressure to that. A handoff. Going to the right is Brandon, and Brandon will walk into the end zone for a touchdown.
Yeah, they just had the perfect lane set up there for Brandon. Able to seal off the edge. And he just had nothing but like a wide gap just to like, he could have just took his time really. We can look here on our replay. They line up. Split out to the right. Yeah, just like a perfect like little sweep off tackle. Like no one's there for Whiting. He was he didn't have a white jersey near him for about another 4 yards. By that point, he was a done deal. They're going for 2.
They're going for 2. They go off to the left, and they will get it. Brandon, once again, the man that walks into the end zone. 8-0 Calumet early. We'll step aside and we'll come back as you're watching the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
IBEW Local 697 isn't just wiring buildings. We're woven into the very fabric of Northwest Indiana. We're your neighbors. Our kids go to school with yours. We stand in the same bleachers cheering for the same high school teams. When you hire a union electrician, you're not just getting the highest quality work, you're supporting our community. IBEW Local 697, proudly powering our own.
This is a Quintel kickoff. This kickoff and all kickoffs presented by Quintel Incorporated as we get a look at that 2-point conversion that let Calumet go up 8-0. Calumet has the ball, getting ready to kick it away here. A boot right up the middle. It is received by White in return, going to his left. Breaks off a tackle, and he almost broke off another one, but a herd of Warriors come in and drag him down at around the 35-yard line. So here come the Whiting Oilers.
A short kick there fielded by Kane Santana, trying to keep it out of the hands of Cason Dunn, who's one of their top targets here for this passing game for the Whiting Oilers.
Yeah, the Swiss Army knife, Cason Dunn, who plays both ways, and he punts. So you'll be hearing his name a lot, but for these Whiting Oilers, they're led by sophomore quarterback Julian Madrano. And as we talked about in the pregame show, he's thrown an interception in every game so far this year. So limiting the turnovers is going to be huge today for the Oilers. In the backfield, it's a fake. Madrano running to his left and running out of bounds before any contact from the Calumet defense.
Yeah, they faked the handoff to the inside, and it was just a simple quarterback keeper around the end, but the Warriors were not fooled at all. You saw like every linebacker flooding, keying up on Madrano there for like a minimal gain of about 1 yard.
That was Isaac Luna in the backfield. He's still back there. As Whiting usually has Demetrio Lopez in the backfield, who has a lot of rushing yards this year. Receiver going in motion. This time they'll give it to Luna, and there's nowhere to go for Luna. There was no hole for him to break through as the Calumet defense made it a no-yard gain, making it 3rd and 9, an early test for the Whiting offense.
Yeah, they went try and go off to the right side of that line, and the Warriors just shut that down, just completely plugging the gap with nowhere to go, and then the line just collapsed on that edge, like the whole mass of red jerseys on the bottom of that pile. Hard to say who got that tackle.
Yeah, there's a lot of red jerseys and black hats in that area. Calumet had a 3-minute, 46-second drive that led in a touchdown. Madrano going to throw. He has time. He steps up. He's still looking downfield, and he is going to take off. He gets pushed out of bounds just short of the yard to gain. And this is going to be interesting to see if Whiting goes for it. It's about midfield. As we saw earlier, Calumet went for it on 4th down. They got it, ended up scoring a touchdown. It looks like the punting unit's coming out.
Yeah, it looked like they had a passing play set up, and we had mentioned how they had some sack trouble last week for the Whiting Oilers, and like the pocket just couldn't hold for like more than the couple seconds that he had, and he had to take it down and run. Good effort. He almost got that first down.
Yeah, it's 4th and 3, and it looked like a bit of a long 3, as Dunn will punt the ball away for the first time today for Whiting.
Can't see who's in the back for Calumet to receive. He's perfectly side to side to us.
Yeah, Brandon Smith is back to return.
There we go.
Wobbly kick, and it's off Smith's leg, and it's still on the ground. It's rolling away. There's a battle for the football. We're not sure who has it.
Whiting says they got it.
Whiting is celebrating. They're jumping up and down. And no official sign from the referee.
Romeo Rosario coming up with a helmet, with helmetless and with the ball.
So it is Whiting football. A tough break for Calumet.
Yeah, it just was a short kick, and he just misread it, and it bounced right off of his chest and just kicked off. And then Whiting was right there with the up men to try and pick that up, and it just bounced around for seemed probably like an eternity for everyone on the field.
That puts Whiting at the 31-yard line. The clock at 6:25. It's 8-0 Calumet early. Medrano is going to throw. Here comes some of the pressure we talked about, and he goes down. Looks like he tripped on one of his linemen that was getting pushed back by JoJo Pops. Yes, that's a real name, and yes, I was happy to say it at least once tonight.
It looks like he was looking for something downfield, and he moved up to get himself some separation from the rush. It looked like he tripped over Luna there, who was up back trying to provide him some support.
Sacks a big problem last week for Whiting. That was on our keys to the game, Nick, as Medrano was running for his life. He got sacked 8 times. You just can't win a football game if you get sacked 8 times. Medrano throwing it again. He's going to air it out downfield, and it's intercepted. It's intercepted by Brandon Smith, who just muffed the punt. Talk about redemption.
Like reversal of fortune, and it reverses right back. And you got to feel for Whiting, because they had time there to set up the throw, and he just overthrew his receiver, and it goes right to the Calumet Warriors.
Coaching staff not happy with Medrano. Medrano has now thrown an interception in all 6 games this year for Whiting.
A type of stat you would like to forget.
Yes, it is. But I know the coaches haven't forgotten that. So a couple of turnovers, one by Calumet, but they get a sack and then a turnover. They get the ball back, and they're going to start on their 22-yard line. A couple of receivers moving. 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right, and it's a jet sweep as Smith is going to his left. He stiffs arm a defender and falls out at around the 37-yard line. And that will be a first down.
Kind of similar to the play they ran for the 2-point conversion. Take it to the inside, and then have the jet sweep come right around. Big gain for the Warriors as they're on the march again.
That first down is brought to you by Four Seasons Mechanical in Maryville, your Northwest Indiana heating and air conditioning specialists. 2 receivers splitting out to the right, 2 to the left, and Brandon gets it, and he is wrapped up in the backfield. It's going to be a TFL for a few different Oilers, but who's at the bottom of that pile?
Number 40.
That would be Eddie Mansfield.
But like you said, there was a lot of them back there, and that was a solid group tackle there. That was something we had mentioned, that if Whiting wants to have control of this game, they're going to have to get as many people into those running lanes as possible, and they've got a perfect example right there. Big tackle for loss, about a 4-yard loss there.
Make it 2nd and 13 now from their 33-yard line, as we are under 5 minutes in the first quarter. 8-0 Warriors. They're right down the field on a 66-yard drive and scored a touchdown by Bryce Brandon. They're going to give it up the middle, get some of those yards back, as John Boyd was the ball carrier there for the Warriors.
Good effort there by Romeo Rosario. I believe had that fumble, that muff punt recovery, hemmed in the run there, was able to get a hand to trip him up, get a minimum gain.
Romeo Rosario, the leading tackler of the Whiting Oilers. He came in today with 26 tackles. He had 5 last week, 1 as a tackle for loss.
Add another to the pile.
Couple of receivers moving in motion. 3 on the left, 1 to the right. It's still Boyd in the backfield. It's a pass. Firing it to the left, and the man is wide open, and that will get Calumet another first down in the cross midfield.
There's Olivari. They're Whiting out there running a zone, and they were able to find like the curl flats just to go a little about 10-yard curl, just enough to get in front of that zone in front of the safety, finding the gaps there. So far, a good passing performance from this freshman QB.
2 for 2. Both of them leading to first downs. Boyd staying in the game in the backfield. One receiver to the left and to the right. Boyd is going to be fed the football, and he will fall across the 44-yard line, a 6-yard gain.
Dropped my number sheet that looked like it was 89.
Oh, Adam Smith for Whiting, number 89. Adam Smith credited with the tackle. Boyd getting the ball again. He's stumbling, spinning, and there are finally some white jerseys that get to him. He had plenty of time. He's across the 40-yard line.
That's a good patient run by finding the gap, and then there was like a linebacker that was being blocked who was standing his ground, ran into his blocker, and like stalled for about a second, was able to spin out of that and pick up that extra yardage for that first down.
I don't know if I've ever seen anything quite like that before, but it still works out. Really shows you how good of blocking you're seeing from Calumet early on against this Whiting front four. Two receivers to the right. They're going to throw. It's a bomb downfield. There's a man open and out of the hands of Smith. Campbell fired it to around the 7-yard line. It was a 32-yard pass, but out of the hands of Smith. And they'll make it 2nd and 10 and stopping the clock at 2:07.
Good throw, just a little bit short, and there was enough time for Julius Youngblood to come up with a big deflection there right at the last second. That prevented a clear touchdown.
And that was the name you wanted to say going into the game.
Yes, it was.
2nd and 10 from the Whiting 39-yard line. Two receivers to the left, and it's a handoff to Boyd. Boyd gets off a defender, keeps the legs churning. A flag being thrown in as some extracurricular activities happening away from the play. And this is in the area of holding, you would think.
It was downfield, and it came right as he was able to make a cut towards the sideline. Be interesting to see.
The referee's going to be facing away from us. There's a face mask on Whiting. So as Boyd went for his cut, someone got a pace of the face mask. Give him 15 yards and move them up. That would put them inside the 20-yard line.
And when you have a elusive and slippery running back like Calumet has, you're just throwing an arm out there trying to like get a hold of them, and clearly someone didn't catch a number, managed to get just enough.
Referee stopping the game for a moment, telling some of the
That's the chain gang.
Whiting players to get out of the way as the chain gang had to run past them. That puts Calumet at the 19-yard line with a second away from 2 minutes in the first quarter. Calumet up 8-0. Two receivers to the left. It's a throw over the middle of the field, and it is completed to Trayvon Brown.
So Whiting playing, looking for maybe a run. That was a quick slant. Was going to Brown the whole way. He got the snap, looked, and he had the perfect little inside seam. Got him, and now it's 1st and goal.
It's an 11-yard gain. Gets them to the Whiting 8-yard line. Nice couple of completions from Jaden Campbell, the quarterback in his first high school start. Counterplay for Boyd, and that hole closed up pretty quickly. A lot of Oilers got to him.
Yeah, the Oilers played on that counterplay. They were able to fill that gap, find where Boyd was running. It looked like
maybe Mansfield and Smith were the tandem that brought down Boyd.
Like I said, you're going to want that tandem tackling. It's like a capable back like this. You need like 3 or 4 guys minimum.
Surprised we haven't seen Bryce Brandon for this drive. Well, there he is now. He has entered into the game. They're going back into that Wildcat formation they started the game with. And Brandon will just get a direct snap, go to his right, trying to turn the edge. And there is some hand fighting, and that is a good athletic play by Berner Garcia as a flag is being thrown.
It's like this might be a hold. Looked like you were trying to run kind of like a zone read play type, and you just kept going further and further down the line of scrimmage. Whiting doing a good job to stretch out the play.
It looks like you were right, Nick. Going to back them up 10 yards, put them on the 18-yard line on 2nd and goal with 1 minute to go in the first quarter. Jaden Campbell had some nice completions, the freshman. And that was the first carry for Bryce Brandon on this drive. It's primarily the backup running back, John Boyd, but he's also had some good carries. They have lightning and thunder. Boyd, the slippery, quick one. Brandon, the powerhouse. As they're going to swing pass it over to Brandon, and Brandon, it's tackled in the backfield.
It's Rosario again. His helmet comes off again.
And that should take him out of the game.
Yes,
it is. So Romeo Rosario will head out.
Read that perfectly. They're trying to go for like a quick little swing pass with the motion, but Rosario read it all the way and was able to make that great penetration. Ended up being a big loss. Now it's going to be 3rd and goal all the way back at the 22.
The 10-yard penalty from the holding and a 4-yard loss on that play. This will be potentially the last play of the first quarter. Campbell back to pass. He has time. He's going towards the end zone. He's got a man. Touchdown, Warriors! A completed pass to Brandon Smith. And Jaden Campbell has his first high school passing touchdown.
And it was such a great throw and great effort by the Warriors. Sits there, finds his man one-on-one. So we got the replay rolling right now. Just finds the quick little slant towards the end zone. He falls down. His defender falls down at the last second, creating the separation. Now it's a 14-0 lead for the Warriors.
Not only is that the first touchdown pass for Campbell in his career, for Smith, that's his first touchdown on the season. 2 receivers to the right, and they're going to hand it off to Bryce Brandon. Brandon turns the legs, and did he break the goal line? He did. It is now 16-0. Calumet with 12 seconds to go in the first quarter. We'll take a 30-second break as you're watching the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
IBEW Local 697 isn't just wiring buildings. We're woven into the very fabric of Northwest Indiana. We're your neighbors. Our kids go to school with yours. We stand in the same bleachers cheering for the same high school teams. When you hire a union electrician, you're not just getting the highest quality work. You're supporting our community. IBEW Local 697, proudly powering our own.
This is a Quintel kickoff. This kickoff and all kickoffs are presented by Quintel Incorporated, handling jobs of all sizes throughout the country since 1994. Michael Oliveri ready to kick this ball away, and he kicks it back to the Whiting Oilers, and it is received at around the 15-yard line, and this man's breaking it. Dunn going down the sidelines. He stops, tries to go around the defenders. He gets tackled from behind, but what a return by Kaysen Dunn to end the first quarter. Whiting needed some life, Nick. They certainly just got it.
That's a great shot in the arm to take you into the next quarter, and Whiting needs to find something to get this game going back in their favor.
Take another break as you're watching the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Four Seasons Mechanical proudly serves Northwest Indiana, providing quality, reasonably priced, reliable service. With a quality and comfort guarantee, the professionals at Four Seasons Mechanical offer a wide range of services in heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Whether it's residential or commercial, Four Seasons Mechanical is there 24/7. To find out more, the website is fourseasonsmechanical.com or give them a call at 219-756-7020. Four Seasons Mechanical, your indoor air quality specialist.
With electrical services from Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, you can radiate the perfect amount of light and energy into your home. From rewiring and code upgrades to ceiling fans, lighting, security, and more, Economy Electric Heating and Cooling's trained electricians will make sure you can enjoy your home on full power all the time. For a free estimate on electrical work, call Economy Electric Heating and Cooling at 219-923-4441, and you can visit them on the web at forajobdoneright.com. That's the number 4ajobdoneright.com.
Check out the IBEW Local 697 electrifying plays from this week's football action. Visit regionsports.com, Facebook/Region Sports Nation, or on Instagram. The electrifying plays presented by IBEW Local 697. Quick pass over the middle, and he gets tipped into the air, and it falls down. But before we ended the first quarter, Nick, we saw this great return from Kaysen Dunn.
Yeah, they were trying to avoid Dunn, I feel, but he just kicked it far enough, and Dunn gets it right around the 16, 17-yard line. Just has the seam on the sideline and just kicks on the Jets and takes that all the way down to the Calumet 35.
That's about a 50-yard return
right
there.
About a 50-yard return. He was just the target here for this incomplete pass by Whiting. So they're trying to capitalize on that great return.
And Medrano threw an interception on the last drive, his sixth on the year. He almost threw another one that got deflected by the corner. Two receivers to the left, one to the right. Medrano throwing again, pocket collapsing. He's going to take off, and he gets leveled. It's Smith that picks him up, does a bit of a wrestling move there. That gets him around the 25-yard line.
And this was just some good pocket presence by Medrano. He had a little bit of time to look and make his reads. Saw it wasn't there. Saw he had an opening to his right, and he took it, and he almost got the first down, but a great tackle prevented the first down. So now it's a 3rd and short for the Oilers and trying to get something going.
Medrano can run the ball a little bit. He came in today with 192 rushing yards, hit 115 in week 1 against North Newton. They're going to hand it off up the middle, and this is going to be awfully close. And that was Kaysen Dunn getting the carry. We've yet to see Demetrio Lopez.
And it looks like they're going to give the first down to the Oilers.
You got to wonder, the way that this game has started with Calumet going up 16-0, and even if they didn't get it there, they would have gone for it on 4th down.
Clearly, at the way, because you need to get something going in your favor, because right now the momentum is all the Mighty Mo has been for Calumet so far.
Dunn in the backfield to the right hip of Medrano. Medrano fakes it. He's going to run to his right, and he's going to be stood up.
Ugh.
He ran. He stopped as Michael Oliveri, the strong safety, came down from his position, stopped him in his tracks, and that's a 2-yard loss for the Whiting Oilers. And this has to feel like a got-to-have-it sort of drive, especially after you let Calumet off the hook on a 3rd and goal from the 22-yard line. You allowed a touchdown.
Yeah,
some of the mistakes they made last week in their loss against Lake Station.
Yeah, you got to find some sort of answer after allowing a 3rd and goal from your 22. Got to get back in this.
Dunn getting the carry, and he is wrestled down. Timothy Ramsey, the Mike linebacker. Now he's going to be in his position, and he's making a tackle in the backfield. And that was a story that we were talking about, is how was the Whiting front 5 going to stand? They run the ball well. They come in with over 205 rushing yards per game. But again, the 8 sacks was a big question mark.
Yeah, because it's like something that as the scoring gap widens, you start to wonder how long can you keep trying to run the ball and start throwing the ball.
They're in 14. Whiting going from left to right. Medrano's going to set up the pass. He's looking to his check down. Now he's starting to run for his life. He throws it over to his right, and it's intercepted once again by Calumet. There's a convoy, but the returner stumbled over as Kyron Wright, the two receivers to the left, one to the right of Campbell, the freshman quarterback making his first start. They're setting up the throw. He throws a bomb downfield, and making the adjustment is Smith, and he makes the grab. Oh, what a play! Campbell shows off the arm strength. and Smith shows off the acrobatic skills.
Well, I got to say, for Calumet, you got to be ecstatic out of the play with this freshman QB sitting there, finding his man, one-on-one coverage again, and it was just go up and get it football there for the Calumet Warriors. Another big play from this QB.
That is a 34-yard completion. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. It's a fake as Campbell's going to take it himself, and he'll run into 2 Whiting Oilers. He gets some yards there. Just look at miscommunication there, maybe an RPO, but his man wasn't there.
Yeah, it looked like there was some sort of breakdown because he looked like he was going to go to his right and quickly changed position and went to his left, and Whiting was able to converge, and he managed to get a few yards out of that.
Ran into the 2 linebackers, Lopez and Santana. Campbell hands it off to Boyd. Boyd makes a cut. Boyd, he gets the edge. He's across the 30, and he falls forward as Caden Santana with a shoestring tackle prevented possible touchdown there for Calumet.
Going further down some of these scores, the Lowell Red Devils and Hobart Brickies tied 7-7. Maryville up 10-0 over LaPorte. And Boone Grove leading the River Forest Ingots 15-6.
Pretty good game going on there. A lot of good games across the region. 4 games going on in Region Sports Network tonight. Boyd fed the football, and he is just being stood up.
Santino Cervera was there holding on, got to him first, and then basically danced with him for a little bit. And finally he was able to get the backup was able to bring him down for that loss.
That scoreboard update is courtesy of your neighborhood Strack and Van Til Food Market. Strack and Van Til, your favorite Indiana-made grocery store. 2nd and 11 from the Whiting 27-yard line. Getting close to 2 minutes left in the first half. It's been all Warriors. Campbell throwing again. It is overthrown. He tried to get to Michael Oliveri on a corner route, but it sails out of bounds, and they'll make it 3rd and 2 chains.
And Gabriel Burris on the coverage there. It looked like he underestimated where he was going to be because he kind of threw it like he was going to keep running. It looks like he stopped because he came out of his break, looked for the ball, and looked like it just kind of sailed over his head.
Yeah, he had stopped and started to do a bit of a back pedal as the ball had some carry to it. 2:11 left as the clock stopped after the incompletion. 3 receivers to the right. Campbell looking that way. He fires it outside. A one-handed catch. Michael Oliveri reached out with his left hand, snagged in that football, and it was about 3 or 4 yards there. An impressive grab, just not too many yards to gain there.
Yeah, impressive athleticism. Unfortunately, it puts them still behind the sticks. It's going to be 4th and looks like about 4th and 6. Thank you, PA announcer.
That put them at the 23. Clock still running, 100 seconds left. Whiting will start off with the football as they won the toss and deferred to the second half. Whiting calling out their plays from the sideline. They need to stop here with 3 receivers to the left. Campbell's going to throw. He goes to his left, and it is incomplete as Oliveri got blown up by Cason Dunn.
And he had him, too. He was out there by himself, wide open, and Dunn was able to get there, but the pass was just over his head. He had to reach out for that. It would have been an amazing, reminiscent of Plaxico Burris back in the day catch, but it was just too far out of his reach.
A minute 24. Both teams have all 3 timeouts. Andrew Mile with Nick Russ on the Region Sports Network. As we'll have a commissioner's corner for halftime, and then me and Nick will talk about the game, give you some scores from around the region, and get you set up for the second half. Let's see if Whiting can make some noise offensively to end out this first half. And it sounds like one of the teams might have just used a timeout.
Timeout Calumet.
So Calumet will take a timeout. We'll take a quick one with them. You're tuned into the Region Sports Network, the only game in town. Is there any way to...
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Visit regionsports.com, Facebook/Region Sports Nation, Instagram, and Region Sports Network YouTube for this week's Home Improvement Top 10 presented by Ennigenberg Exteriors. You can find them on the web at ebergexteriors.com. Andrew Mild, Nick Ross on a Friday night from Calumet High School. And right now the Warriors lead 16-0. They just took their first time out. Whiting has the football from their own 23-yard line, trying to go down the length of the field, and they'll get the ball back to start the second half.
Very important to try and get some sort of points here. Do the old 2-for-1.
Start from the 23. Luna gets the ball, but the referees just blew the play dead.
Second left side of the line moved a bit.
Whiting making a mistake there. They made plenty in this first half. The biggest one, though, was allowing a 22-yard touchdown on a 3rd and goal. You had the 2 interceptions. But still, considering that it's only a 2-possession game, that's still somewhat impressive for Whiting, despite all the mistakes.
Yeah, they're not making it easy for Calumet.
No.
We were talking about, we were curious to see how they respond to this run game. And I'd say they've done well against the run. It's the passing.
That's true.
That Calumet has really capitalized on. We weren't really expecting that.
The point I will make, too, is that Calumet is a second-half team. A lot of the damage they did last week in their 52-16 win against Bowman was in the second half. We also just haven't seen Bryce Brandon a whole lot. He had a lot of carries on the first drive, but since then, it's been mostly John Boyd, the secondary running back. Madrano going to the air. Nowhere to go. Here comes the pressure. He gets away from it, and he fumbles the football. It is on the ground. As there's
Warrior ball.
A bunch of bodies on the ground, and it is Calumet ball. The 3rd turnover by Whiting. Madrano just lost the ball.
Yeah, he got flushed from the pocket, trying to buy some time. We talked about how this Oiler offensive line struggled for pass protection, and it looks like that was that Lance Freeman that came up with the ball? He's trying to see as hard. It was all the way on the other side of the field from us. There were the big, massive bodies. But now Calumet, with like a minute and change left in this half, looking to maybe go up by 3 scores.
You got to wonder, as we talked about earlier, will Whitey consider with a quarterback change? You even pointed it out in warm-ups that Alexander Vasquez, the sophomore backup, was taking a lot of snaps before the game.
It was something noticeable, and it piqued our curiosity.
Brandon in the backfield for a Wildcat. He fakes it, goes to his right, and he gets hit hard by the goal line, and he falls in for a touchdown. It was a car crash between him and Kaysen Dunn, but Bryce Brandon has his 2nd touchdown, and he makes it 22-0 Calumet.
Yeah, Dunn came in. It was like they've been doing this Wildcat play once they got down towards this goal line, and once again it pays dividends. You're able to get that hole open on the right side of the line. Dunn was there to meet him at the goal line, but as they always say, short man wins, and he just was able to lower his shoulder enough to like bounce off of him and stumble into the end zone.
An 11-yard touchdown for Bryce Brandon. Bryce Brandon, a Wildcat still. He goes for it, and he walks it past the goal line. It's 24-0 with 1:06 remaining in the first half. 30-second break. We'll be back here on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Earn while you learn from the best hands in the business. The Bricklayers Allied Craft Workers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. That's right, this is a paid apprenticeship.
I'm getting an education while learning a trade and getting paid for it.
The thing that surprised me the most about this apprenticeship program is the respect I've received after the proper time and training.
Classes start soon, so apply now. There are training centers throughout Indiana and Kentucky. We are the Bricklayers and Allied Craft Workers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. The best hands in the business.
Calling all current and future homeowners in the Northwest Indiana area. Whether you're buying or selling, Brent Wright is here to make your real estate journey smooth and successful. With years of experience, personalized service, and a deep knowledge of the market, Brent will help you find the perfect place or get the best deal for your property. Call today at 219-406-7195 and take the first step towards your real estate goals. Contact Brent Wright, the right way to buy and sell real estate.
This is a Quintel kickoff. This kickoff and all kickoffs are presented by Quintel Incorporated, specializing in the reconditioning, repair, and remanufacturing of heat exchangers. Angel Mild, Nick Russ, 24-0 Calumet here on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town, as we are minute 6 away from halftime. Ball is away, and Whiting had a good return earlier by Dunn. He won't take it this time.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier on that the previous kickoffs, it looked like they were trying to avoid kicking to Dunn. They managed to do that again here. They were able to get down there fast. That kick just kind of seems like it hangs there.
It was Caden Santana, the sophomore, that returned it. As we saw earlier with Dunn, he had about a 50-yard return to close out the first quarter. And Whiting's had some good plays, Nick. The scoreboard doesn't really represent how well they've played at times. But it's just been the turnover that's been the problem. 2 interceptions and a fumble.
Yeah, and it's such backbreaking because they've been coming at the worst times, like off of a turnover on downs after a muff punt, and it's just killed any type of momentum that the Oilers could possibly get.
Madrano gives the feed to Luna, and this play's not going to go for much as there's a pile. The Whiting lineman trying to move it, but the referee blows it dead. It's about a 1 to 2 yard gain there. Making it 2nd and 7 from their own 31.
Just some hard-nosed playing there, just right up the gut. It's like Whiting might be trying to milk the clock just a bit to take this to halftime and get in there and make some adjustments.
It looks like Whiting might have – it was Calumet took a timeout. So Calumet burning the timeout. They're trying to see if they can get a stop here, Nick, and get the ball back as they just scored on an 11-yard touchdown by Bryce Brandon, his 2nd of the night, after the fumble from Julian Madrano.
I mean, you might as well give it a shot.
Why not?
You got the timeouts to spare, and your defense has been okay with maintaining control over this Oilers offense, especially when they've been dropping back to pass, which is why I'm wondering if we're going to see more runs out of Whiting going forward in this game.
Be sure to stay connected with all things Region Sports by supporting and following us on social media. We're always active on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, X, and online at regionsports.com. Celebrating over 25 years, we're proud to be the only game in town. Do you call it X or do you call it Twitter, Nick?
I still occasionally call it Twitter because I'm old.
Well, I'm pretty old too, so I still call it Twitter.
But X reminds me of the 90s. Extreme.
Handoff once again to Luna, and Luna is stopped after he just got started. And I got to wonder if Calumet's going to use their last time out here. The clock's still running. This is going to make it 3rd and 7. There's about
it is.
3-second difference between the game clock and play clock, and there is the timeout by Calumet. I wonder if Salary had been calling for it for a while, but the referees didn't hear it, as they stopped the clock officially at 27 seconds. I wonder if the referees will add some time, though.
And the clock is running again. Looks like they're just trying to reset the clock here.
But for Calumet, it's a first half that you'll certainly like to remember. Their defense is criminally underrated. In their first 5 games, Nick, 4 of those, they held teams to 20 points or less. The only team that scored more than that was Highland, their only loss of the year.
Yep. I was going to say, the common denominator between these two teams is that they both played Highland, both teams lost to Highland. And it's been a good defensive showing by this Calumet team, being able to contain the run, but the pass rush has been impressive. Madrano has not had time at all to really get any of those passes out, which has been contributing to some of these turnovers and mistakes.
And you and I were watching the film. Lake Station would do these design blitzes where they would delay it, and then they'd find a hole and go right through it. And Madrano would have maybe a split second to make a decision if he wants to throw the football or not. And even seeing sometimes when he does have time, he starts to become very cautious of what's going on around him. He starts getting out. Hand off up the middle. It's taken away.
Stole the ball.
And Calumet is going to have a fumble recovery for a touchdown. What a play by Dalen Simpson.
Just straight up stole it out of his hands.
Like taking candy from a baby. Simpson, the 6-foot senior, rips the ball away and takes it to the house for a touchdown.
Just straight up the stick, puts his hands in the cookie jar and runs out with the whole thing.
That big man was moving.
Reminds me of the Bears game from last Sunday.
Tyreek Stevenson.
Tyreek Stevenson just reached in, just yanked it right out.
Also reminds me of the Eagles game. We got a big man touchdown, Nick.
Yes, we did.
This makes it 30-0. And for the first time, Oliveri is going to attempt a point after.
I didn't realize they had a kicker for an extra point. They've been just doing 2 points this whole game.
Yeah, Oliveri is 2 for 4 on PATs this year. It's a bad snap. Getting out of the pocket is Wesson, and Wesson overthrows Oliveri, who is a receiver by trade, but that time he was a kicker, and it is no good. The clock stopped at 18 seconds. It's 30-0. Calumet will stay here. We'll finish out this first half. But, Nick, you and I were just talking about it, and we're starting to sound like broken records, but it's the turnovers for Whiting. That's their 4th turnover already.
And, like, the turnover, like, it's, you know, you can't win a game when you give up 3 turnovers. Is that the saying? Now you're up to 4 if you're Whiting. And, like, that's so difficult to overcome. And we've said it's come at, like, the worst times for momentum. This time, this is like they're just trying to eat up the clock and milk out the half to keep Calumet's offense off the field. And then the defense just steps up and, like, this saying, we'll do it ourselves. And they just take the ball and off they ran into the end zone. And now it's a 30-0 score here with about just a few seconds left before halftime.
And for Coach Salary, he looks like a genius there, because if he doesn't take those timeouts, Whiting can just walk off the field, say, hey, you know what, we're down 24, which is fine. We still have time. But that allowed Calumet to force another mistake from Whiting, which he was banking on, and he was able to cash the check at the end of it with a Dalen Simpson 35-yard touchdown after he ripped the ball away from Isaac Luna. Oliveri, after the missed extra point, will kick it away. 30-0 Calumet. You still have a second half to go. Calumet looking to go 5-1. Be their best start in a while. Fair catch being called.
Smart play.
The same man that's been getting picked on all night in Caden Santana. I bet someone told him over on the side, like, hey, you can call fair catch. You don't have to get lit up every time.
It's something that players a lot, you see them forget about until they get lit up, and then someone on the sideline goes, you know you can fair catch that, right?
We're going to start with the 35. That's fine. That's not bad field position to start a drive.
No, not at all.
But with Calumet having no timeouts, I got to wonder if this is just going to be a kneel down and send these teams to the halftime locker room.
And it looks like that's what the case is going to be.
30-0 Calumet. A couple of substitutions by Calumet as our guys get out to the field. And the Warriors, on their homecoming, have had a first half to remember. For the first time, Adrano lines up over center, and he will take a knee to close out the first half. What a first half for the team in red. The home team, Calumet, leading 30-0, forcing 4 turnovers in the first half alone. We'll have a Commissioner's Corner for you. We'll come back for a Strike and Van Til scoreboard update, and we'll get you ready for the second half. You're tuning into the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
When it comes to your money, you deserve more than just numbers on a page. You deserve someone who sees the full picture. Meet Mark Machnick, one of Northwest Indiana's most trusted accounting professionals. Whether you're running a business, planning for retirement, or just trying to make sense of tax season, Mark Machnick, located in Highland, makes it simple, personal, and believe it or not, painless. Contact Mark and his team today at 219-595-5290. Mark Machnick, CPA.
Life isn't always loud. Sometimes it's the quiet moments that matter the most. Of effort, of a dream taking root. And behind those moments, there's trust. thank you for trusting Sentier Bank with those moments and making us a part of your story. Thank you for the opportunity to earn your trust.
When it comes to your money, you deserve more than just numbers on a page. You deserve someone who sees the full. Meet Mark Machnick, one of Northwest Indiana's most trusted accounting professionals. Whether you're running a business, planning for retirement, or just trying to make sense of tax season, Mark Machnick, located in Highland, makes it simple, personal, and believe it or not, painless. Contact Mark and his team today at 219-595-5290. Mark Machnick, CPA.
Life isn't always loud. Sometimes it's the quiet moments that matter the most. Of effort, of a dream taking root. And behind those moments, there's trust. Thank you for trusting Centier Bank with those moments and making us a part of your story. Thank you for the opportunity to earn your trust.
Welcome back from the Commissioner's Corner. You're tuning in to Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town. Andrew Mile with Nick Russ. We're going to give it over to Nick, who has a Strachan Van Til scoreboard update.
Yes, this scoreboard update is courtesy of your neighborhood Strachan Van Til, your favorite Indiana-made grocery store. Looking around the region, RSN number 3, the Andrean 59ers up big over the Highland Trojans, 28-7. Most of these scores are at halftime or in the second quarter. The Andrew Thunderbolts coming in over from Tinley Park, facing the Hammond Central Wolves, and it's all Thunderbolts, 38-0. Going down the line, we have the number 9, RSN number 9, Chesterton Trojans up 12-9 in a tight game against the Portage Indians. I believe that's the old Battle of the Dunes. I can't remember if there's a name for that one or not. No, they're doing the conference rivalry. The Culver Academy Eagles up 14-3 over the Kankakee Valley Cougars in the second. The number 7, Griffith Panthers up 21-0 over the East Chicago Central Cardinals. And a tie game between the Munster Mustangs and the Hammond Central Wildcats, 7-7. That is in the second. The RSN number 2, Maryville Pirates up 17-0 over the visiting LaPorte Slicers. And a tight contest in the Northwest Crossroads Conference. RSN number 4, the Hoover Brickies, currently trailing the number 5 Lowell Red Devils, 14-7. That is in the second. RSN number 8, the Michigan City Wolves up 17-14 over the Lake Central Indians on the road there at the Burial Grounds. This game was like 10-0 at one point for the Michigan City Wolves, so the Indians making a game out of that. Morton Governors, number 10 in the RSN poll, they will be playing Calumet Christian on Saturday tomorrow. And Boone Grove leading the River Forest Ingots 22-12. Number 1, RSN Crown Point Bulldogs in the County Seat Classic up 21-0 over the Valparaiso Vikings. And here, of course, 30-0 between the Calumet Warriors and the Whiting Oilers. And that is your Strachan Van Til scoreboard.
Thanks, Nick. And you're watching Region Sports Network coverage of high school football on youtube.com/Region Sports, facebook.com/Region Sports Nation, and at regionsports.com. You're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Flip the switch, a light turns on. Press the button, machines and instruments come to life. Touch the screen, communicate with the world. Simple tasks, guaranteed results, every second of every day. That's the power of power. And that's the power brought to you by the NECA contractors and electrical workers of Local 531.
At Blyce, we're used to having the athlete shop at our store.
Down, sit, put.
But sometimes they get carried away. Blyce, this is where the athlete shops.
Yes, please.
Some see a wrestling match. We see a 6-minute lesson in grit. Some see a coach sending a runner home. We see a mentor guiding a student athlete into the future. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
At At Strachan Van Til, we believe grocery shopping should be simple. Now, shopping is easier than ever with our new and improved website. Find what you need fast. Browse your favorite products, add them to your cart, and check out in just a few quick steps. Choose between convenient in-store pickup or let us handle the heavy lifting. From our shelves to your doorstep, skip the lines, shop your way, and spend more time on what matters most. With our rewards program, enjoy incredible savings and personalized offers every time you shop. Shop online now at strachanvantil.com or download our app today.
Hi, I'm Crowd Company's Lantern Man. If you're a contractor, it's my job to make your insurance coverage simple and affordable. Because I know time is money, I'll come to your business. Certificates and bonds are a snap. Wherever you are, whatever business you're in, we've got you covered. As Crowd Company's Lantern Man, I'm your insurance superhero.
Crowd Companies, insurance professionals. Highland, Merrillville, and Michigan City.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
From lighting up Friday Night Football to powering the classrooms that shape the students of Lake County, IBEW Local 697 is proud to support our region's schools and the communities we call home. A career as a union electrician could be your next great move. Your next cap might be a hard hat. IBEW Local 697, powering futures, powering the region.
Four Seasons Mechanical proudly serves Northwest Indiana, providing quality, reasonably priced, reliable service. With a quality and comfort guarantee, the professionals at Four Seasons Mechanical offer a wide range of services in heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Whether it's residential or commercial, Four Seasons Mechanical is there 24/7. To find out more, the website is fourseasonsmechanical.com or give them a call at 219-756-7020. Four Seasons Mechanical, your indoor air quality specialist.
Welcome back to the Region Sports Network. Andrew Mild, Nick Russ. About 10 minutes until halftime is over and we get ready for the second half. For Whiting, we'll start off with the football. But you and I were talking about it as the game was going along. But Whiting had some big plays in there. They had a couple of turnovers on downs. They had a 50-yard return from Case and Dunn. But every time they got something started, they would either stall out or there'd be a crucial turnover. Whiting committed 4 turnovers, 2 interceptions, and 2 fumbles. One of them led to a touchdown for Dalen Simpson.
And it's like not the way you want to close that half. It's like you're already down by a bunch, and then you're just trying to milk the clock, and that was just to make – he just tore that ball right out of him as we're playing the replay here. And just – as you see here on your screen – oh, never mind. We'll cue it up. Well, I'm sure we'll see it because right now –
we would love to relive that moment.
Because it's a big man touchdown for one. And as a former defensive lineman, that makes my heart sing with joy. But also that is a perfect candidate for our play of the game, which is brought to you by the Proud Union play of the game, which we'll give out at the end of the broadcast here once we're wrapped up here. Presented by the Iron Workers Local 395. To find out how you can become a union iron worker, visit ironworkers365.com.
But at the same point, too, you go over to the Calumet side offensively, and you're talking about that a possible Crowd Company's Lantern Man superhero of the game could be the freshman quarterback, Jaden Campbell, who had that 22-yard touchdown pass to Brandon Smith on a 3rd and goal.
Yeah, we were curious to see how he would play in his first start, and he has been stellar. I mean, he's getting time, he's being patient, and he's finding it. He's had a few miscues, but, you know, it's to be expected as the game goes on. But overall, I've been impressed with how he's played because, like, we were expecting a run-heavy offense out of this Calumet team, and they come out with the freshman quarterback like, okay, we're definitely going to see a run team. And, no, they've been mixing it up a bit when they needed to, and it's paid dividends by the score.
Did it help that Coach Salary set up some pretty easy passes for him early on? Some guys stack up to the third on the left side, 3 guys, maybe an out route little layup of a pass, and then he goes, hey, this is not as hard as I thought it would be.
Yeah, quick little slants, little curl routes, like stuff to the out. And it's just to get the rhythm, get the timing, to know how fast your guys are going, how much time your line is giving you, being able to figure out your pocket presence. These are things that are just the building blocks for a quarterback that who they hope, if he can continue to play like this, is going to be a big-time player for this Calumet Warriors going forward, not in just this season, but probably in future seasons.
The Lantern Man Superhero of the Game is brought to you by Crowell Companies. They have offices open from 9 to 7, Monday through Friday, and Saturdays till 2 in Highland, Maryville, and Michigan City. Then you have the Boilermakers Local 374 Blue Collar Player of the Game, brought to you by Boilermakers Local 374. Earn while you learn with Boilermakers Local 374. And for us, it has to be Case and Dunn right now. That's why I would give my vote to. He had some big licks on a few of the different Calumet players. One of them was even Bryce Brandon for the third touchdown of the game for Calumet's offense. But also, he had that 50-yard return that gave them some life, but unfortunately, that drive stalled out and a turnover right at the end of it.
Yeah, everywhere you look on the field, you see him floating around, like whether it be on defense or he's taking. I'm pretty sure he has a few carries as well. Like he's been getting the ball. He's a two-way player, and he's just been a complete workhorse out there for this Oilers team. And the Oilers are putting in the effort. It's like, as we said, the score doesn't really reflect the type of game the Oilers have been playing. It's just the miscues and the turnovers that have just been backbreaking for this Oilers side here. And if they can tighten it up, try and get back in, they're going to have a chance right here from the jump in about 5 minutes or so. They get the ball to start the half. If you're Whiting, you need to score, and you need to score now, because otherwise the next time Calumet scores, we'll have that running clock. And so it's up to the Oilers to figure out something here on offense right away.
And if you're Coach Sallery, you have to be ecstatic from what you saw, because he talked about it, that he wanted them to clean up and have a quicker first half. And he said in the last couple of games they've been awfully slow. They look pretty fast, and I haven't seen really too many mistakes from Calumet, not really too many penalties, haven't turned the ball over. Their defense has been stellar, and Jaden Campbell, the freshman, as we talked about, he has looked great, and they haven't had to rely as much on Bryce Brandon, their star running back, as much as you and I thought going into this contest.
No, I was I'm trying to sit there and how many times have we called his name, and this just hasn't been a lot for this half. It's maybe just giving up a breather, but when you have options like that, that's a great tool to have going forward for them, to have a running back core and having a quarterback that can really get you passes down the field. And these have been good stretch passes too that bring those linebackers back, because now they have to pay attention to the throws, and then that opens up the lanes for you. And it's just everything is clicking right now for this Calumet offense.
We will take one more break, and we will be right back for second half action here on the Region Sports Network, as you're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
At Strachan Van Til, we believe grocery shopping should be simple. Now, shopping is easier than ever with our new and improved website. Find what you need fast. Browse your favorite products, add them to your cart, and check out in just a few quick steps. Choose between convenient in-store pickup or let us handle the heavy lifting. From our shelves to your doorstep, skip the lines, shop your way, and spend more time on what matters most. With our rewards program, enjoy incredible savings and personalized offers every time you shop. Shop online now at strachanvantil.com or download our app today.
Hi, I'm Crowell Company's Lantern Man. If you're a contractor, it's my job to make your insurance coverage simple and affordable. Because I know time is money, I'll come to your business. Certificates and bonds are a snap. Wherever you are, whatever business you're in, we've got you covered. As Crowell Company's Lantern Man, I'm your insurance superhero.
Crowell Companies, insurance professionals. Highland, Merrillville, and Michigan City.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
IBEW Local 697 isn't just wiring buildings. We're woven into the very fabric of Northwest Indiana. We're your neighbors. Our kids go to school with yours. We stand in the same bleachers cheering for the same high school teams. When you hire a union electrician, you're not just getting the highest quality work. You're supporting our community. IBEW Local 697, proudly powering our own.
Four Seasons Mechanical proudly serves Northwest Indiana, providing quality, reasonably priced, reliable service. With a quality and comfort guarantee, the professionals at Four Seasons Mechanical offer a wide range of services in heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Whether it's residential or commercial, Four Seasons Mechanical is there 24/7. To find out more, the website is fourseasonsmechanical.com or give them a call at 219-756-7020. Four Seasons Mechanical, your indoor air quality specialist.
With electrical services from Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, you can radiate the perfect amount of light and energy into your home. From rewiring and code upgrades to ceiling fans, lighting, security, and more, Economy Electric Heating and Cooling's trained electricians will make sure you can enjoy your home on full power all the time. For a free estimate on electrical work, call Economy Electric Heating and Cooling at 219-923-4441, and you can visit them on the web at 4ajobdoneright.com. That's the number 4ajobdoneright.com.
Stay with Region Sports after the game as we send it back to the Centier Bank studio. RSN will recap all of tonight's action from around the region, all from the Centier Bank studio. Andrew Mild and Nick Russ, 30-0. Calumet under a minute to go in halftime. And Nick, if you're Whiting, you're going into the second half. Is this more going for a moral victory, something you build off of going into your next game, or do you still think you have a chance at getting back in this one and making it close?
Well, first off, your first drive is going to set the tone for what's going to happen for the rest of this game. So, if you want to get back in this game, you got to score, and you got to score right now, because your defense has demonstrated that you can get stops, but your offense needs to pick up when you have the ball. So, if you're the Whiting Oilers, you got to time is not your friend right now, but I still think you have the time. But if you're looking for the big picture of things, you still want to develop, because this is a young team.
Let's
face it. And you still want to see that growth and that development out of some of these players, and maybe that may even be putting different players into different roles and different positions, trying different plays that you hadn't thought of using, just to see what you can get to stick. While it might not work against Calumet, who's to say it might not work down the season for this Oilers side?
This is a Quintel kickoff. This kickoff and all kickoffs are presented by Quintel Incorporated, handling jobs of all sizes throughout the country since 1994. What's also important is both these teams have conference games going into next week. Calumet will be taking on Wheeler, who beat them 43-8 last year, and Wheeler has a stout defense. They've only allowed 7 points on the season. And for Whiting, they have to go up against Boone Grove.
So if you're Whiting, you got to be excited, because Boone Grove has been struggling this year. Even though last we checked the RSN scoreboard, they are up on River Forest. But those are two programs that are trying to find some rhythm, get some momentum going. But that Calumet Wheeler game, that's defense versus offense, the classic matchup.
Yeah, Bryce Brandon, the junior who has over 800 yards against them next week, that's going to be a fun one. Kick is away, and it's going to roll past the goal line into the end zone for a touchback.
For a minute there, that looked like that was just going to die right there at the goal line.
And that would have been one of the best kicks we have ever seen.
Yes.
In any sort of football from
any
Michael
level.
Oliveri. Talk about your finesse and your touch. I wish my golf shot would look like that sometimes.
Ugh. Not talking about golf right now.
Yeah, the Ryder Cup not going well for the Americans right now.
Well, it's the first day, so.
Still got some time. So Whiting will take over on their own 20-yard line. Madrado staying out there. He had 2 interceptions, and he fumbled the ball. So 3 turnovers from him alone. Handoff up the middle, and that running back keeping it going, and that is the star running back who keeps on going down the field, Demetrio Lopez, into the game, and what a run as he got 17 yards.
We had mentioned, like, we were wondering where he was, and, well, there he is, and he just basically hits, keeps the legs churning, and just fights and carries, like, about half of the Calumet Warriors with him as they get the big first down.
Lopez had 13 carries for 126 yards last week with the hat trick, 3 touchdowns. They're stacking up a couple of tight ends to the left. Lopez getting the ball, going to his left side, spinning off of a tackler, keeping those legs turning again. It's just going to take about 4 Warriors to finally get him to the turf.
Another solid run from Lopez, just jumps to the left.
It's about a 4-yard carry for Lopez. He came in with 754 yards, and he has scored 10 touchdowns in his last 3 games. Talking about those last 3 games, all of them 100-plus games, he's averaging 206 yards a game these past 3 weeks.
Got some.
Why not? Keep going back to Lopez. As Lopez picking and choosing, and Calumet was able to slow him down for a moment as a flag does fly in from the back judge.
This was way after the play, so this is going to be a heavy one.
The ball being spotted at the 46 for the time being, and the penalty is on Calumet.
Yeah, a little after play excessive shoving.
And at that point, you're up 30-0. Why add on the 15 yards and make a boneheaded play like that?
Yeah, that's not going to be fun for whoever did that come Monday at practice.
Oh. Hope they brought their running shoes.
Want to be on the cross-country team? Interesting to point out.
Whiting up to the 40-yard line, and this is going to be a false start on the Warriors.
So they had Shakur Parker lined up in the backfield, 5'10", 329-pound junior, kind of working as like a fullback back there.
Yeah, definitely you call that your power formation.
Yes, you could say that's the jumbo formation when you got him back there.
As the Whiting offensive line, their average weight is over 296 pounds.
Yeah, so they have the size to really throw around their weight, and that's just why you've seen them be successful with the run game.
They have 3 guys that weigh over 300 pounds, and the other 2 weigh over 230. So that power formation, they're going to go that way as Lopez puts his foot on the ground, cuts to his right, tries to go back up the middle as JoJo Pops grabbed him by the waist and slowed him down. That 1st and 15, about a 2 or 3 yard gain there. Still 2nd down and 2 chains to go for Whiting.
So the Warriors had some great penetration on that side that he was running to, and he saw a little cutback lane that he was able to eke out a few yards. But clearly that was designed to go off the left side tackle there, but they were able to crash in. They looked like they might have brought a run blitz there as well. So they had someone in the backfield right there pretty much in a timeout.
Yeah, Whiting burning a timeout with 9:52 to go in the 3rd quarter. It's 30-0 Calumet. You're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
We're back. Andrew Mile, Nick Russ on the Region Sports Network. Thank you for joining us on this Friday evening. Demetrio Lopez, a star running back for Whiting and a man that carried the offense at times this year, did not play in the first half. He's back out there now, and he's touched the ball every time.
Yeah, it's like been straight north and south, really, for Whiting, just handing the ball off with this jumbo package they've been running.
It's a fake as the quarterback will take it himself. He has a lane going down the field across the 20 to the 15 to the 10. And Julian Madrano with a big play there, 33 yards.
Yeah, definitely a big pickup here. as they fake the run to the left side, and the big hole opens up for Medrano, and he just takes off to the races, and Oliveira being able to track him down and basically save the touchdown.
The best offensive play thus far for Whiting, trying to open up this second half with a touchdown. With them being down 30, as Nick mentioned, they need to set the rhythm for the second half. They want to get back in it. Lopez given the ball, tries to go up the gut. And that hole closed up pretty quickly as Timothy Ramsey, the Mike linebacker, ran down. And that's the thing, though. When you have a guy like Lopez that had those explosive runs, you can start then using him as a decoy. There was really no threat in the backfield before that as they tried out Isaac Luna, who's the backup, a freshman, and even tried Kaysen Dunn, who's been the Swiss Army knife for them all year.
Yeah, it was like he adds like a whole nother asset to this offense and basically just straight up open them up so far in this opening drive. It's back there again.
A bad snap, and they're going to call a false start. That is going to be on Shakur Parker.
I'm not sure if it was on Parker, but there was a lot of people moving. Looks like there might have been some
one of those situations where it's everyone but the center sort of ordeal.
Yeah.
If they're wearing a white jersey, there's a good chance they moved.
I saw Parker move, and I saw a bunch of other people move, so I'm not sure who was on that. Someone had a sneeze, and then it's uh-oh.
Parker still in the backfield. The handoff. Lopez moving forward. And he gets a few yards back after the 5-yard penalty. What's interesting is that Whiting can still get a first down. They have to get to the 1-yard line. It's 3rd and 6 from the Calumet 7-yard line.
I mean, at this point, you're definitely in that 4 seasons, 4-down territory. And you're looking at, you got to have it here. It's when you're seeing Lopez, I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe you see maybe a play fake here to find some quick pass that can get you down towards that goal line.
You did see Romeo Rosario come in, the tight end. He's on that right side. And is this another false start?
I don't see any flags.
Maybe a timeout was called.
Oh, there's one there.
It is a false start. So that flag must have been right in the middle of everyone that was just standing there because I was also looking for it.
I see. It's sitting pretty much right next to the penalty box line for the soccer field.
Which is also yellow.
It's just yellow. So camouflage.
A second false start penalty inside of the red zone for Whiting. And that's really been on par with how they've been playing. Mistake after a good play after another. As we saw Madrado, the quarterback, have a 33-yard run to the 11-yard line. Lopez getting the ball, going to his right, going off of his tackle, tries to spin out of a tackle, and a couple of Calumet Warriors had to drag him down. Dalen Simpson and Timothy Ramsey will be credited with the takedown of Demetrio Lopez.
So they were trying to run a quick little out, not like a zone read, but quick around the tackle there, and he was going to try to cut back in. But by then, the Calumet secondary had kind of converged on him. Looks like they might be keying on wherever Parker is going because it looks like wherever Parker goes as a lead blocker for Lopez. So
this is 4 Seasons Mechanical, 4-down territory here. 3 receivers to the left. Madrado dropping back to pass. He has a man open, and he misses him. He tried to go to Dunn. He missed it. It was almost intercepted, and Whiting kept off the board again.
And he had done too. He had a step on his man, and he just kind of led him too far and just out of his reach. And lucky he didn't get caught. I think it was dropped by a Calumet. We have a replay going here. It's well defended. Zone coverage, just put your feet in the end zone and just wait for someone to come near you.
So about 4 minutes came off the clock on that drive, and Whiting walks away empty-handed. As Calumet takes the field for this first time in the second half, they'll attempt to go 92 yards, and if they score a touchdown, that means running clock.
And Brandon in the backfield once again.
Bryce Brandon will fake it to Boyd. He has a convoy out in front, keeping the legs churning, and he is brought down as
we got a late hit.
A late hit as there was 2 Calumet Warriors pushing back Smith, and that play happened all the way out by the 27-yard line where Brandon was brought down around the 12-yard line, so way down the field.
That's just foolish. Like, you already have them beat just 2-on-1. We're kind of just trying to open up the lane, and they pushed them all the way out there, and they just kept going well after the whistle.
And that is the second late hit call on Calumet in this second half.
Yeah, there's no need to be playing, they play to the whistle. You don't have to play after the whistle.
You saw the one Calumet player talking to the other that was called for the penalty. Brandon staying in the backfield for a Wildcat. The hole right up the middle. He gets around a defender. He's going down the sidelines, across the 40, and he is dragged down by Dunn. Kason Dunn somehow ran down Bryce Brandon, who runs it from the 8 to the 47-yard line. That's a 39-yard gain.
Yeah, he just fake to the right, and he keeps it for himself, just runs it, and Dunn just basically came running all the way across the field to save that touchdown.
Now a few 20-plus explosive plays for Calumet in this game. And the best run by Bryce Brandon. It gets Calumet out of the shadow of their own end zone. And at about midfield, the ball on the left hash. 2 receivers to the right and 1 to the left. Brandon staying in the backfield. He'll fake and get off of a defender, cutting to his left, and he's getting pushed back as they'll stop his forward progress at the Whiting 49-yard line.
And Santino Cervera deep in the backfield, causing some havoc there with that play. Almost blew it up completely. They had to go in the other direction away from him. Man was able to ink out about 4 yards out of that play.
Under 7 minutes to go in the third quarter, it's 2nd and 6. As we'll finally see the freshman quarterback, Jaden Campbell, take the field after a couple of Wildcat formations for Bryce Brandon. Campbell had a touchdown pass to Brandon Smith. It was a 22-yard hookup. They're going to let Campbell throw. A quick release over to the right, and he finds Smith again. Smith turns as he tries to get the edge. He's across the 30 to the 25, and he gets swung out.
Another great design play, just quick, short passes. Throw it out there and let your athletes make the play. Perfect pass over to Brandon Smith. Sits there, looks over his shoulder, sees he's got an opening to the right. Just runs it right up the sideline, pick up a big gain.
That is the third 20-yard play by Brandon Smith, who started off his day with a muffed punt. 22-yard hookup. They had a 30-yard play toward the end of the first half. Boyd given the ball, going to his right, and he gets tackled down. Got maybe 2 or 3 there, just a couple. Again, it's 2nd and 10, just outside the red zone.
Continuing to move this ball, just still being able to hold their own on the offensive against this offensive line. Whiting's still doing some good work as long as the run has been in between the tackles. When they get outside the tackles, that's where Whiting has been having the trouble containing this Calumet running game.
Under 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Campbell's going to throw again. A quick one, tipped into the air, almost intercepted. Read ever so beautifully.
Look, Ramir Rosario sitting there watching the QB. They know they've been doing those quick little passes, so it'll be interesting to see if they start trying to let things open up a bit more downfield, because he was just sitting there waiting the whole time. Lucky he didn't pick that off.
That's old-fashioned tip drill, but he couldn't locate the football after it deflected off of his right hand. He'll be thinking about that one after the game ends. Ball on the right hash. It's 3rd and 7 from the Whiting 22. Boyd given the football. He falls forward. He's going to be much short of the first down marker.
Just more hard-nosed running. The thing about running the ball in between the tackles is that it's gut punches. And if you know anything about boxing, those body blows over time, that's your foundation. You keep working at it, keep working at it. You might not get the big run that you want, but over time, as the game continues to progress, it starts to take its toll.
Well, it looks like Calumet is taking a play of Whiting's playbook. They are stacking up the box, and Brandon giving the ball. He gets away from an arm tackle, second arm tackle, and Brandon finds the end zone for the third time. A 2-yard scamper for Bryce Brandon, and we will have a running clock. It's 36-0.
Yeah, they just brought in their own kind of version of the jumbo package, that heavy package that like Whiting was using, and just stacking it one back in the back, double tight. The line just clears out, gets a perfect seam for him. Nothing but daylight ahead of him. And now it's 36-0.
Well, we saw Oliveri go for the extra point earlier, but it was a fumbled snap. So they're just going to go for 2 again, stacking the line of scrimmage again. It's a handoff up the gut, and it will go for 2. Lance Freeman, the sophomore running back, gets the carry, and he crosses the goal line. 38-0 Calumet, as we will step aside for a quick break as you're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Earn while you learn from the best hands in the business. The Bricklayers Allied Craft Workers for Indiana Kentucky Apprenticeship. That's right, this is a paid apprenticeship.
I'm getting an education while learning a trade and getting paid for it.
The thing that surprised me the most about this apprenticeship program is the respect I've received after the proper time and training.
Classes start soon, so apply now. There are training centers throughout Indiana and Kentucky. We are the Bricklayers and Allied Craft Workers for Indiana Kentucky Apprenticeship, the best hands in the business.
Calling all current and future homeowners in the Northwest Indiana area. Whether you're buying or selling, Brent Wright is here to make your real estate journey smooth and successful. With years of experience, personalized service, and a deep knowledge of the market, Brent will help you find the perfect place or get the best deal for your property. Call today at 219-406-7195 and take the first step toward your real estate goals. Contact Brent Wright, the right way to buy and sell real estate.
Welcome back to Game Night in the Region on the Region Sports Network. Andrew Mile with Nick Russ. 38-0 Calumet New Tech Warriors. They're about 16 minutes away from going 5-1. This is a Quintel kickoff. This kickoff and all kickoffs is presented by Quintel Incorporated, handling jobs of all sizes throughout the country since 1994. Oliveri with another deep boot, and Dunn will field it from inside the 15. Going to his right. Ball is out, is on the ground, and is recovered by Calumet.
Oh.
A 5th turnover forced by the Warriors.
And it's just one thing after another. Another fumble, another turnover, and now Calumet has the ball right inside the 20-yard line of Whiting.
Emmanuel Thomas recovered the fumble. Can we see that hit again? I want to see who just laid down the wood that caused that fumble.
Single-digit number, I want to say.
Was it possibly Timothy Ramsey? Was it number 6?
I think it was.
It happened so fast, it was hard to tell who it was. And Dunn, who has been the lifeblood of Whiting at times in this game, coughs up the football. And Calumet's offense right back on the field, up 38-0, starting this drive on the 18-yard line. It is a jet sweep, handed off to Oliveri, and Oliveri moves it across the 10 to about the 6, and there is a Calumet player down in the backfield. Looks like maybe a offensive lineman, hard to tell.
It's away from the direction of where the play was. You hate seeing it this late in the game.
As they attend to this fallen player for the Warriors, we will take a break as you're watching Game Night in the Region on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
At Strachan Van Til, we believe grocery shopping should be simple. Now, shopping is easier than ever with our new and improved website. Find what you need fast. Browse your favorite products, add them to your cart, and check out in just a few quick steps. Choose between convenient in-store pickup or let us handle the heavy lifting. From our shelves to your doorstep, skip the lines, shop your way, and spend more time on what matters most. With our rewards program, enjoy incredible savings and personalized offers every time you shop. Shop online now at strachanvantil.com or download our app today.
Back live from Calumet New Tech High School on the border of Griffith and Gary High School. Andrew Mild and Nick Russ. 38-0 Calumet, under 4 minutes to go. It was Adrian Williams, the senior leader, coming off their left guard. A player that they talked about wherever college program he goes to, they'll be excited to have him. Handoff, and a flag appeared to have flown in. There it is by the goal line. We'll see who that is on. But for now, it's about a 3 or 4 yard gain for Calumet as they're knocking on the door of breaking 40. And it is on Calumet.
I'll say it looked like it was in the where, and it is holding.
So I'll back him up 10 yards. As David Swan is checked in to play left guard for the injured Adrian Williams. This will makes it first and goal from the 14-yard line. You saw earlier, though, even if it was third and goal from the 22, Calumet still found a way to score on the connection between Campbell and Brandon Smith. They're going to throw again. Here comes the pressure, and there is a sack.
Yeah.
Shakur Parker, the big man coming up the gut and swinging down Campbell. For Parker, that's his first sack of the season.
Comes at a big time, too, as they're knocking on the door, trying to get in. Another score. He sits in the pocket. He just blows up his guy and just goes right in, bull rush. Gets himself his first sack.
That's a big man that shot out of a cannon. Parker, a junior, listed at 329 pounds.
It's like being hit by a bus.
That makes it second and goal from their 20. A bobbled snap, and Campbell just got to take it himself, and he is getting pushed back.
There's Parker again.
Yeah, Parker is just creating some noise after Adrian Williams headed out of the game, an interior lineman.
And you always want to see how, when you're down big, how your team responds. And, they still got the fire. And you like seeing that out of a team. So that's always encouraging to see, they're still fighting, even though the score has gotten out of hand. We have the running clock.
It also has to hurt when you have a great drive, you sustain it, your best drive of the game, you get to the 8-yard line, and you can't break through and find some points up on the board.
Right.
Two receivers to the right, one to the left. Campbell airing it out towards the end zone. He has a man wide open, and it's Smith again for the touchdown. It's been the Campbell-Smith show here from Calumet New Tech High School as they hook up for their second touchdown on a third and goal beyond the Whiting 20.
Yeah, it was just a deep throw. Just beats his man, was out on it by his own. The safety coverage not there, and he just easily catch and waltzes in.
What a play. What a performance by Brandon Smith. He has an interception and now 2 touchdown receptions. He came in with 5 receptions for 115 yards, but he has racked up the box score today. There's the extra point. It is a pop-up that goes through the uprights.
Oh.
That will make it 45-0. That clock will keep on running, so we will stay right here. About 70 seconds to go. That was a 24-yard touchdown between Jaden Campbell and Brandon Smith. And, Nick, and here's the fun part. If you're a Warriors fan and you're watching that connection, you still have a whole nother year as Smith is a junior and Campbell, as we've talked about, he's a freshman.
And that's what we were talking about when starting this freshman quarterbacks, and how he's performed. You got to be ecstatic if you're Calumet because you have this, great foundation player going forward, tall player too, 6'3", so he's possible he could end up being taller by this time this is all said and done. And he's a great hookup. You got so much things going forward for this Calumet offense that's just put on an absolute stellar performance tonight.
They did stop the clock at 51 seconds, but the ball is teed up by Oliveri, who just made his third extra point of the year. 45-0 Calumet. And the Warriors, they are less than 13 minutes away from winning their 6th straight game against Whiting.
Yeah, and last year, of course, that came down to an overtime victory for Calumet. So Whiting hoping to get some measure of revenge, but unfortunately wasn't in the cards tonight for the Oilers. Hard to come back from 5 turnovers. Yeah, they still have a quarter to play. So
that game ended on a failed 2-point conversion for the Oilers.
That's right.
This is a Quintel kickoff. This kickoff and all kickoffs are presented by Quintel Incorporated. Quintel Incorporated handling all jobs throughout the country since 1994. Ball is going to be returned by Whiting, but it's not the usual man done. It is a different returner. That looked like Berner Garcia. And here's a flag flying in. Some more extracurricular activities happening over here by the 25-yard line. And you got to think it's just a level of frustration from the Whiting Oilers.
And it's hard to say who this is going to be on, but I'm pretty sure this might be going against the team with the white shirts.
I could also see this possibly being offsetting where nothing happens.
Well, they called it on Calumet. Because I did see the Whiting player had his arms up, like over his head, as they were both on the ground, indicating he wasn't holding on to him. And so it might have been a case of the second man gets the flag.
Well, Coach Salary, in his third year with Calumet, is going to be ecstatic by the results and what he's seen from his team today, especially with them forcing 5 turnovers and his freshman quarterback looking good. He is going to be sick in the stomach thinking about all these personal foul penalties they've racked up. That's already their third in this third quarter. Lopez given the football, and he charges ahead to the 44-yard line, a 7-yard gain. And that's looking like it could be the final play of the third quarter. If Whiting hurries up, they can possibly get one more playoff as Madrano gets the play from the sideline. He's jogging back on, and that most likely is going to be the final play. They got 5 seconds. If they do a quick snap, maybe 3, 2, 1, they got the playoff in time. And it's another handoff to Lopez. Lopez will get the first down and then some more as they get it up to the 46-yard line. We'll step aside for a quick break as you're watching Game Night on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
When it comes to your money, you deserve more than just numbers on a page. You deserve someone who sees the full picture. Meet Mark Machnick, one of Northwest Indiana's most trusted accounting professionals. Whether you're running a business, planning for retirement, or just trying to make sense of tax season, Mark Machnick, located in Highland, makes it simple, personal, and believe it or not, painless. Contact Mark and his team today at 219-595-5290. Mark Machnick, CPA.
Life isn't always loud. Sometimes it's the quiet moments that matter the most. Of effort, of a dream taking root. And behind those moments, there's trust. Thank you for trusting Centier Bank with those moments and making us a part of your story. Thank you for the opportunity to earn your trust.
The run by Demetrio Lopez was a four-season mechanical first down, and after this play, we'll give it over to Nick, who has scores from around the region going on right now. A power package going on again. Lopez going behind his blockers, keeps the legs churning, falls down as he pushes it up to the 42-yard line, a 4-yard gain. Here's Nick.
This scoreboard update is courtesy of your neighborhood Strachan Van Til Food Market, Strachan Van Til. Shop online for delivery or curbside pickup at strachanvantil.com. Across the region, number 3, Andrane 59ers up 38-13 over the Highland Trojans in the third. We have a final between the Andrew Thunderbolts out of Tinley Park over the Hammond Central Wolves, 52-0. Last update from this score as we wait for this play.
Lopez going off of his right tackle. He finds a hole. He's going across the 30, the 25, the 20, 15, 10, 5, and it's a touchdown for Demetrio Lopez. The Oilers will not be shut out tonight, and what an electric run by their senior running back.
And it's just a great play off the edge here. As we get the replay queued up. Yeah, just that power package providing just an open lane, and it's like you could have flown a jet through that hole as he just puts the afterburners and just runs right to the end zone to get the Oilers their first score of the night.
Demetrio Lopez just scored his 12th touchdown of the year, his 11th in his last 4 games, and he did not play the first half. As Nicholas Ornelas will now kick the extra point. I haven't said his name since the opening kickoff. Making it 45-6. And the ball is up.
Good.
And it splits the uprights to make it 45-7. We'll give it back to Nick, who has still the Track and Van Til scoreboard update.
Yeah, last update we had from this is from the second quarter. The Lake Station Eagles up on the Bishop Knoll Warriors 12-0. Bowman Academy up 18-0 over at the North White Vikings. RSN number 9, Chesterton Trojans leading the Portage Indians 27-16 in the third quarter. Culver Academy taking the victory over the Kankakee Valley Cougars, up winning 14-3. RSN number 1, the Crown Point Bulldogs leading the Valparaiso Vikings 28-7 in the third. The Griffith Panthers up 41-0 over East Chicago Central. That was a halftime score. The Hammond Central Wildcats having a 21-10 lead over the Munster Mustangs. RSN number 2, Maryville Pirates 24-0 over the LaPorte Slicers in the third. Big game in the NCC. The Lowell Red Devils at the Hobart Brickies. RSN number 5 versus RSN number 4. Tied 14-14 in the third. RSN number 8, Michigan City, leading the Lake Central Indians 17-14 at Lake Central. And the Boone Grove Wolves up 22-12 over the River Forest Ingots in the third quarter. Follow all tonight's Region football scores live on the Hometown Scoreboard, streaming on youtube.com/Region Sports, facebook.com/Region Sports, and regionsports.com. Courtesy of your neighborhood, Strachan Van Til.
Short kick, and Westby is trying to return it, and he gets tackled down. And what a nice recovery there, because there was a big hole for Westby to take off. But Whiting able to stop him. That was Braxton Aldana. As Calumet saw as a running clock. Close to 10 minutes left in this game, 45-7. And what a debut that we saw tonight by Jaden Campbell. A lot of questions marks going up when you have a third-string quarterback making his first start as a high school.
And those questions were dutifully answered.
A lot of big plays between him and Brandon Smith. It helps that you've been able to allow Bryce Brandon to have a break, be able to just sit on the bench and relax for a little bit, as Boyd will stretch it out to the left. He turns the corner. He's getting a lot of yards as he pushes it to the 41-yard line on Whiting territory.
I think he has many yards running from to the sideline as he did running forward.
Going east and west instead of north and south.
I mean, he did it all. He still got the first down, but that was a long, drawn-out play.
And that first down is brought to you by Four Seasons Mechanical in Maryville. 2 receivers to the left and 2 to the right as Christian Wesson comes into the game. He'll hand it off to Boyd, and Boyd trying to keep the legs churning, but nowhere to go.
I tried running back to that same area, and this time the Oilers were ready. Big crash in on the defensive end there. Get you the number who was out there.
That was E.C. Pozo Perez. The 5'7" senior who didn't have any tackles last week against Lake Station. Gets a tackle there, and it's a TFL. 1-yard loss there. So Wesson, who was making a couple of starts in the game, he's more of a running sort of quarterback. And he'll hand it off to Boyd. Boyd wraps around the corner, gets some good blocking from his receiver, spinning off a Whiting defender, and it takes 2 of them to bring him down. I will give a lot of credit, though. Usually when you see a good running team, you want to give all the credit to the big men up front. But the wide receivers for Calumet certainly have showed that they take pride in their run blocking too.
Absolutely, because once you get to that second level, it now is the onus is on those receivers downfield and the tight end to help seal off that edge and keep those like upbacks, the linebackers, and the safeties away from your ball carrier. And they've done a great job at doing that all game.
Seeing a couple of backups filter their way in for Calumet. Boyd being fed the ball. Going to his left. The ball on the left hash, and he'll get the Four Seasons Mechanical first down, I believe, or he's just short.
Looks like they're going to rule it. Nope, they gave it for him.
Yeah, the chains weren't moving, and it said 4th down on the ball spotter. But they move it, and that is a Four Seasons Mechanical first down. As at this point, Calumet can even throw an incomplete pass, and the clock would still be going.
Yeah.
But they're doing the right thing here, keeping the ball on the ground, running out this clock, get ready to celebrate their 5th win of the season. And number 5, Boyd has to carry the ball on his back as he almost lost it. And they're just happy that he held on to it and got out of bounds for a 1-yard gain. Yeah, I have never seen anything like that before.
That was pure disaster in the making. It's just lucky to able to hang on. He gets the ball. He's kind of like slipped the hand off.
I mean, John Boyd looked like Luke Skywalker carrying Yoda in Empire Strikes Back. That's what that looked like to me.
It's like how he held on to that, I have no idea.
I don't know.
Because then he gets hit and still hangs on to the ball.
The beauty of high school football. You never know what you're going to see on any game underneath the Friday night lights. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, another feed. Boyd getting some good blocks. Going down the field, he has 1 man to beat. He beats that man, and they say he goes out of bounds.
That's a flag, though.
With an explosive run, and Nick is right. Back at the line of scrimmage, a flag has been thrown.
This is going to be a block in the back. I saw it on the backside. As he made his cut in the secondary, he got a little help from one of his fellow backs.
Yeah, they kicked the flag up to represent the spot of the foul, which is the 26. So this is looking like it's going to be about a 2nd and 15. Spot the ball at the 36. So it is 2nd and 15 for Calumet. With under 5.5 minutes to go.
Boyd comes out.
Naeem Bayel will get the ball going to his left. He's showing off his speed. He turns the corner, gets some blocks. Wow. Bayel spins off a defender, and he's going to go into the end zone. What a run by the junior. Rumbling, bumbling, stumbling, Nick, into the end zone.
That was an incredible run, and it was just all speed because Whiting had him in that backfield pinned. He had 3 white shirts, and he just managed to slip by them all, makes the cut, spins past his man, and just guns it into the end zone to put more scores up on the board for the Warriors here on their homecoming.
For Bayel, he had 2 carries for negative 6 yards. I don't think he's in the negatives anymore.
No, I think he's flipped the balance a bit.
They're going to go for 2. Quick pass. Wesson completes it. A nice throw to John Ross on a slant.
There is a flag, but I'm pretty sure this is going to be on Whiting.
We'll wait for that call. Right now, the scoreboard says 51-7 as they are awaiting what this call is going to be. If it is on Whiting, they'll make it 53-7 for Calumet. And I believe it is as they look to go talk to Charles Sallery, the LaPorte all-time leading rusher. He waved it off. Scoreboard hasn't updated yet, but it is 53-7. It's been all Calumet since the get-go.
Yeah, it's been a one-sided affair. And you have those every now and then. It's just the nature of the game. But if you're Whiting, it's how you respond to such a game. Like I had mentioned it earlier, you saw the defense. They were still fired up. They were still going around, getting the hits, getting the big tackles. The miscues have been hard to overcome.
Certainly has. 5 turnovers tonight, and you said if you have 3 turnovers, there's a very good chance you didn't win that football game. And for Whiting, they had 3 turnovers by the end of the first quarter.
Yeah.
And Calumet doing everything they can to win on their homecoming game, and they're going to enforce that penalty on Whiting on the kickoff. That's moved them up to the Whiting 45-yard line. So that's a 15-yard penalty. It must have been a personal foul on the Oilers after the 2-point conversion.
I thought it was an interference. I guess I must have misheard it.
I didn't know you could enforce a pass interference on the kickoff.
I think it's because it's an extra point.
It's interesting. Guess you don't see too many teams go for 2
as consistently as this. No.
And then after the fact, usually if there's a pass interference, it was incomplete. Short kick, it's bouncing around and gets away from the Whiting players, and finally they scoop it up and really nowhere to go for Berner Garcia. He somehow was able to get a yard or 2. 4:20 to go. That clock still running 53-7. Nick, here's a little fast fact for you. Calumet has now scored 50 or more points in back-to-back weeks.
It's having what I've seen, I can believe it. And now this makes you anticipate that next week game.
Yeah, they have a big meeting against Wheeler as Calumet is going to go 2-0 in the Greater South Shore Conference. They want to walk away with a conference championship, but it's not going to get any easier. They also have a game against Griffith.
Yeah, they got 2 ranked teams in our RSM poll. Our number 6, Wheeler, and, of course, number 7, Griffith. Griffith having a big win tonight. So waiting to hear back from the Wheeler score, but I imagine if things go predicted, they're probably having a successful night too.
Pretty quick tackle there.
Yeah.
For Calumet in the backfield. As that was Javion Burney, a 5'9" sophomore, making a 3-yard loss. About 3 minutes to go. Starters still out there for Whiting. This is a tough loss as they come, as it's a handoff. Lopez charging ahead, and he's short a few yards of the first down marker. Whiting last week got off to a slow start, but they were able to make it certainly interesting by outscoring Lake Station in the second half. They were within 8 points, but they walked away with a 36-28 loss, and just there's a few plays that went well for them, but they couldn't really string good plays together. It felt like they were getting into a rhythm, and then a big play would happen for Calumet, and it would take them right out of it.
Just like this. Yeah, it's those momentum swings are like something that you have to deal with. But at the same time, you got to find ways to limit. As Lopez makes another big cut and gets a first down.
Really impressed with Demetrio Lopez. I'm still interested as to why he didn't play at all in the first half.
Definitely a curious talking point to bring up because, like, you wonder how the game would have gone if you had him in the backfield in that first half.
Because we saw it, because Lopez had a really good run on his first carry, had another decent run that make it second and manageable, and then Medrano faked it to him and took it 33 yards and put him to the 10-yard line, the closest they've been to the end zone all game before the touchdown run from Lopez on their last drive. Lopez being fed the football again, and he gets close to the 30, a 3-yard gain there.
Because, yeah, as we said, having Lopez in the backfield added that level of weapon that you have to acknowledge when you're the Calumet defense. You have to key on him. You have to be watching him. You got to be watching where the offensive linemen are moving for your keys. And so, like, if they're moving, if the linemen are moving with, like, on that Medrano run, the linemen moved to 1, and then they ran the misdirection, and he took it up the field for about 38 yards. So it just adds that extra level.
Well, Thomas Knight, a graduate, it's intercepted. One more pass being intercepted. They're trying to take it to the house, and they will. It's a pick 6. And a 6th turnover. Emmanuel Thomas brought it down, and he's made it a 59-7 game. And that's looking like that's how this game is going to end.
There'll be one for Whiting that they'll want to forget. But for Calumet,
that's one way to put the cherry on top, but already have a Sunday of a game. The 6th turnover forced by Calumet, and their 2nd defensive touchdown.
Yeah, that too.
Dalen Simpson forced the ball away from Luna and took it to the house. And that time, it's Thomas picking the ball out of the air on the tip drill and running it in. And the game comes to an end before Calumet can kick the extra point. The Calumet New Tech Warriors show out on their homecoming game. They go to 5-1, 2-0 in conference. Offense, defense, special teams, all three levels of the game was commanded by the team wearing red tonight.
The whole total package it was from the kick. It was pretty much all Calumet. Whiting hung tough in that first half. But the game just got away from them. Like we mentioned, the turnovers, 3 alone in the first quarter. I don't care, even Crown Point and others, big schools are going to have tough time overcoming those.
And for the Whiting Oilers, after they won 2 games in a row to match their win total from last year, have now lost 2 games. They're now 0-2 on the road. This is their first road game since week 1 when they lost to North Newton, as Calumet will celebrate their hard-fought victory. We will step aside. We'll come back as we'll give out some thank yous and then some awards and then recap tonight's blowout victory by the Warriors. So don't go anywhere. You're tuning into Game Night in the Region on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Flip the switch, a light turns on. Press the button, machines and instruments come to life. Touch the screen, communicate with the world. Simple tasks, guaranteed results, every second of every day. That's the power of power. And that's the power brought to you by the Nika Contractors and Electrical Workers of Local 531.
At Blyce, we're used to having the athlete shop at our store.
Down, sit, put.
But sometimes they get carried away. Blyce, this is where the athlete shops.
We are back for the post-game show. Angel Mile with Nick Russ. Again, the final score, Calumet 59, the Oilers of Whiting 7. That means Calumet goes to 5-1 on the year, their best start since 2022 when they started 8-0 that year before they suffered their first loss. But now they've won 6 games in a row against Whiting, and they've outscored them by over 180 points in these last 6 matchups.
It's definitely been a one-sided affair in this Greater South Shore Conference foe matchup, and especially coming off of last year, a game that went to overtime where it was back and forth the whole game. And it's just a complete reversal this year. And, for Whiting, it's, not the result you wanted, clearly.
There's one thing to lose a game like they did last week where it was respectable. You're only out of it by 8 points. But this game, it was just ugly from them. It's just they had 6 turnovers. And as you were saying before we came back from the break, every turnover that they had was within their goalpost, right in the shadow of their own end zone, and it allowed Calumet to capitalize. I would love to know how many points they had off of turnovers tonight.
It was, I think they scored on every turnover they had.
Yes.
I believe so. But at least, I want to say at least 4 of the 6 turnovers happened within their half of Whiting's half of the field. Some of them were within the red zone even. We had the pick and you had the fumble. And it's just when you're already facing a potent offense like Calumet's, you don't need to do them any favors with that. And ultimately that just was a big contributing factor to this loss. And we mentioned Whiting didn't play a terrible game.
No.
It's if you take away those turnovers and you just see how they ran the ball, how their defense was able to get some stops, you start to wonder if things bounced a different way, if they were able to hang on to the ball more, how it would have went. But alas, coulda, woulda, shoulda, not how it ends.
For the Whiting Oilers, they are now 20-42 since 2019. A former powerhouse in this part of the state. They were having 10-win seasons pretty consistently. Mm-hmm. And this game, 59-7, has really shown we're Whiting football is at. But we've also seen where it could go. You mentioned it. This team is still extremely young. We saw a lot of sophomores that were getting snaps today against Calumet.
Absolutely. You had a sophomore starting run at quarterback, some receivers that are out there that are underclassmen. So you get the experience that you need to so that you can build on that and continue to build. And, this was a powerhouse program, like you said, a perennial conference winner, was always looking towards Indianapolis at their peak. And I still think that Whiting will get back there someday. It's just that they have some work to do in developing their system, this young talent that they have. And I still think that they can pull it off. It's just going to take some time.
Well, Whiting will be taking on Boone Grove next week back at home. For Calumet, they're going to have a really big game next week. They're back on the road against the Wheeler Bearcats, a team that beat them by 35 points last year. Nick, you ready to give out some awards and so we can wrap it up tonight?
Absolutely, because I'm curious to see how much more smoke we can get in.
From the fire and the little bit of a tailgate that's going on beyond the
north
end
It's added some
zone.
Nice ambiance to this game because it's kind of hazing up the lights. So it's kind of had this nice kind of blue tinge to everything.
Well, the first one is the classic one, the Crowd Companies Lantern Man Superhero of the Game. Crowd Companies have offices open from 9 to 7, Monday through Friday, and Saturdays till 2 in Highland, Maryville, and Michigan City. Nick, who is our superhero of the game?
I mean, it's got to be Jane Campbell. Freshman quarterback, you're not sure how it's going to go. You're expecting, to run the ball. This was a run-heavy offense. You're okay, they're one-dimensional. They're probably going to keep running the ball. And he has such a great arm, had the great pocket presence, able to stand back there, find his reads, able to get multiple touchdowns. You believe he had 3 throwing touchdowns in this game. And they weren't easy, bad throws or anything. Just a few miscues here and there. But overall, a fantastic freshman performance for this quarterback. There's a bright future ahead for this Calumet team.
Calumet's passing yards per game average heading into today was 105.8. I would say he well surpassed the average. He had himself a great performance and had some nice hookups with Brandon Smith. Next up is the blue-collar player of the game, brought to you by Boilermakers Local 374. Earn while you learn with Boilermakers Local 374. Nick, for us, this was a pretty easy choice.
Yeah, he was all over the field, mostly because he was a two-way player for the Whiting Oilers, but he was still a presence out there in the backfield for the Oiler defense. Cason Dunn had a few touchdown-saving tackles out there, laying some heavy hits on some, and had the big kickoff return for Whiting in the first half.
The most explosive play of the game.
Yeah, it was they're probably their best play if we have it queued up here. As he takes it here, finds the seam, and then he's just off, and he cuts it, and he guns it for another 50 yards up the field. Gave Whiting their best field position start of the game. Alas, we brought it up. The turnover bug bit them shortly after that, but still Cason Dunn, a great blue-collar performance today for this Whiting Oiler team.
They have the Proud to Be Union Play of the Game presented by Ironworkers Local 395. Go to ironworkers395.com to start your future as a union iron worker. And we have a big man touchdown. That's going to win every time.
Oh, yes. And it's we had to take a look and see how that had happened. It was a running play, and they just collapsed on the end. I'm trying to get the number again. It was Bryce Brandon, I believe. No, it was
Dalen Simpson.
That's right, Dalen Simpson manages to reach in and just steals the ball. And we were kind of confused at first how it happened. And he just reaches his in, plucks the ball out, and just scampers in for the end zone for a defensive touchdown at a time where Whiting is just trying to kill the clock and get to halftime because they get the ball at the second half. So they're just trying to get the Calumet Warriors off the field, just take the clock out of it. And Calumet's defense says, no, we're taking the ball and we're going to score on ourselves. And they did just that with that play, and that is our Proud Union home play of the game.
Really felt like the nail in the coffin when that happened.
It really did.
Coach Salary of Calumet burned a couple of timeouts, said, hey, force the turnover and let me see if we get more points. And Simpson said, I can force the ball away and score points for you. We don't need the offense.
I got you, Coach.
Well, it's time to give out some thank yous, and then we can wrap it up and send you back on your way. First off, in management, executive producer Chris Ramirez, operations manager Rich Castillo, Heather Ames, who is the sales manager, coordinating producer Zach Miller, that's Miller with 2 I's, and sports director Mike Dewan. A special thanks to the coaches, Whiting Thomas Knight in his first year, trying to turn this program around, a 2019 Whiting graduate, and Charles Salary of Calumet. The athletic directors for Whiting, Adam Musalak, and Calumet's Sarah Kontarich. Thank you for having us here. We had a great time. And of course, the viewers at Facebook.com/Region Sports Nation, YouTube/Region Sports, regionsports.com, and IHSAA Champions Network. For our cameraman, Paul Vela, producer Clint Klaus, and my broadcasting partner, Nick Russ, I've been Andrew Mild. This has been the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.